Did you happen to find yourself with more kids than Stephon Diggs, but you do not have the NFL salary? Well, it might be time for a used van. Right behind me, I got the 2007 Honda Odyssey with 204,000 miles, so it'll fit right into your budget. This is the third generation Odyssey that ran from 2005 to 2010. They made some improvements over the prior generations, but they're not perfect, and today we're going to decide if this is a buy or if it's a bust. We're going to take a slow walk around the outside here and go over some of the common problems all over this car. Number one, Honda cannot put paint to sticks on vehicles in this generation. I think they've gotten a little better over the years, but as you can see, we got lots of peeling paint, and you're going to find that on most of these vehicles. This does have some bumps and bruises around the outside, and we are in the Northeast, but I don't see a ton of rust around here, but it's always something you want to check out and if you live in the Rust Belt. As we move around the back here, there's really not a lot of other common problems that I'm thinking of on the outside. We did wash this thing down, and all of that has turned into ice because it is frigid here in Pennsylvania today. Got a little love there on the rear quarter panel, but nothing too crazy. Obviously, plastic on the headlights, yellows over time. That's pretty much every vehicle. Not too concerned about it. Style-wise, they kept these pretty safe departure from the prior generation. I actually think they're one of the better looking minivans from this era. Under the hood of our 07 Odyssey here, we got the 3.5 liter V6 that makes 244 horsepower, 240 pound-feet of torque. Now, one of the big things that you don't have smell-o-vision on your end, but we certainly do here, and one of the big things I noticed is that this engine is leaking a little oil. It's from the valve cover. It's leaking down onto the exhaust. It's making it a little smelly. Now, valve cover gaskets going bad is pretty common on all vehicles that are now 17 years old, 18 years old. So I'm not really terribly concerned about that, but it is something you want to look out for because you got to keep some oil in them. I hear that's pretty important. Now, despite the oil leak, I actually really kind of do like these engines. There is a few common problems I want to go over, the biggest being VCM issues, which stands for variable cylinder management. This car is a base model. It doesn't have that. It's only on the higher trim models, but that will cause some rough idle, kind of a shudder. It causes some issues. Now, you can buy something that disables this cylinder management on Amazon. It's not expensive at all, and pretty much everybody has it because they all cause issues over time. So that's something that you can kind of take care of on the cheap. Now, the other thing to talk about is timing belts. These require service. I think the bulletin is 105,000 miles. So if your car has 105,000 miles or 210,000 miles, it's probably getting close to needing the timing belt done. If this breaks, not good, and it is an expensive repair. So what you want to do is you want to make sure that it's been done and it's not going to be your expense, especially on a cheap car. You want to buy one that somebody has the records that this has already been taken care of. Now let's get to some other common mechanical problems. So this is a 2007, 05, 06, and even the prior generations pretty much all had issues with transmissions. The 07 and up are somewhat better, but they're not perfect. There's still going to be some transmission issues. That'll be one of the more common problems you see, but they are better than the prior generations, which really put a stain like kind of on the Honda Odyssey name, and everybody says, oh, they all have transmission problems. It's not so common on the newer ones, but it's still something you want to look out for. Shudder, weird shifts, really burnt transmission fluid is a good indicator. Clean transmission fluid also scares me because that means that somebody was probably having a problem and they got the transmission service and it may or may not have fixed the problem. But the transmissions for these are pretty expensive. Obviously, you can find cheap parts ones now, so you might be able to knock those bills down, but I would not buy one that's showing any signs of a transmission issue. One of the other issues on the engine is these are common for having spark plug issues, so you got to kind of keep up with spark plugs. That doesn't really bother me. They're not that expensive, but it could cause some rough idles and different things. Two other problems I want to talk about while we're under the hood here is power steering issues. You kind of get a whine, sometimes failure. That can be expensive. If you can work on them yourself, then it's probably not an issue because the parts aren't that bad, but if you got to take it to a garage, it's going to be more expensive. The other one, and this is across all Hondas for all time, it seems, is air conditioning issues. Honda cannot design an air conditioner system that actually holds the test of time. They last about, 100,000 miles is probably being generous. But yeah, Honda just cannot, and it's basically every part of the AC system that they can't design. It's leaky condensers, bad compressors. Honda sucks at air conditioning. Moving on to the interior, it's kind of typical minivan stuff. I would not call it a luxurious place to be or anything like that. Wear and tear is about what you'd expect. Pretty common Honda issues where your fabric turns into plastic, wear and tear like that. But it's nothing too crazy for a car with 200,000 miles. Sitting inside here, I think everything quality-wise is about the same as any other minivan of this age. It's nothing great. Honda, I always think their switches are terrible and really clunky. More so than pretty much anybody else. The radio, I noticed as you get in, the CD player is clicking. I don't think you're playing any CDs at this point in time anyways, so probably not an issue. Surprisingly, for this old and this many miles, everything on it kind of works. Windows go up and down, locks work, radio plays. The only thing I really notice actually is the TPMS light is on, which is your tire pressure monitoring system. Any car over about 5-6 years old, the batteries are going to be dead inside of your tire, inside of your wheel. So that's not an issue at all. It's going to be on just about every car unless you replace them, and they're not expensive to do. You just do it when you get your tires done. It's an extra $100. Welcome to the second row on the Honda Odyssey. Now, if you noticed, I did something. It's almost like we're Amish. I had to open this door myself, okay? Which was a hard job, but I did it because I suffer for the videos. No, one of the things you want to look out for on any minivan that has automatic doors is they have problems over time. You got to keep up with the maintenance on them. This one is manual sliding doors, so you're not going to have any of those issues with them popping open and things. You can feel that it's an older vehicle. They don't slide quite like they did back when it was new. Honestly, in the back seat here, pretty comfortable. I would not mind riding in this thing anywhere for a long period of time. Plenty of leg room. These seats slide back and forth. It is back the whole way right there. This seat's in a comfortable position for whoever's up front. I got no issues here. One of the cool things I noticed, you got extra storage underneath the floor right here. They definitely thought of who's going to be using this thing. It's going to be families. They're going to have lots of stuff, extra storage. It's got rear climate control. This is not an uncomfortable place to be, even by kind of new standards. I'd road trip back here all day. We're on our road test officially. We're moving in the 07 Honda Odyssey. Now, I must confess that I have driven several Honda Odysseys. All of them been used with higher miles. And I find that, and this is a thing with the Honda CR-V that I reviewed as well, I feel like they're all, I don't know if rough around the edges is the right way to say it. They don't drive bad, but there's road noise, the shifts and stuff, they don't seem super refined. Maybe that's the way to say it, I don't know. Right now, I can feel just a vibration on the engine that's just pulling out at, I'm not being hard on it or anything like that, but it's definitely got a little bit of a vibration. And I suspect that it's motor mounts, because that, you guessed it, is a common problem with these. We're going out onto the highway. I'll get on it a little bit here. Oh, you got a car pulling out in front of me. Actually, it shifted really nice right there. I got no complaints. That was not too bad. We're doing about 35, 40 miles an hour. It's all we can do on the back roads that we're on right now. And it feels fine. I don't know that it drives pretty decent, really. We're coming up to a light here. People complain about squishy brakes, and I do think this car has a little bit of that, and sometimes some premature brake wear and stuff. It probably has a little bit of that. I can feel the pedal travels a little further and a little softer than I would like. Again, as we took off from that light there, I felt the motor rock for sure. So there's a transmission, motor mount. One of the mounts is bad down there. Pretty common stuff with this many miles, but definitely noticeable and not ideal either. I can smell that oil leak a little bit as well as we're driving here. Not a huge deal. I'm not concerned about it, but it is noticeable as we're driving down the road, and it is something that I would fix probably before even the motor mounts. I like to hit some bumps here. Actually, suspension feels pretty good. I'm kind of surprised with this many miles that I'm not getting a lot of clunks or anything like that. Really, it's just that motor mount that I'm noticing. Now, as far as fuel mileage, and we already talked about horsepower, it does 0 to 60 in 7.4 seconds. For a minivan, it's fine. It's not fast. You're not going to be winning any street races, so I'd avoid those. But it's fine power-wise. It kind of gets out of its own way. Then as far as fuel mileage, it does 18 around town, 25 on the highway, and this, like I said, this one does not have the VCM, which you're going to disable anyways if you get a car with it. Easy way to tell if you're looking at one that has that, there's going to be a button over here for eco mode. That means it has the VCM, and you just want to disable that, but that does, if it's working properly, should give you a couple more miles to the gallon. One of the things I forgot to highlight for you guys in the interior is this generation was the first to have the third row that folds completely into the floor, and I love that. It gives you a nice spot to put your groceries and everything, and it keeps them in place if the seat is up. And then if it's down, everything lays flat, which is pretty awesome for the third row. Now, obviously, Chrysler came out with the true stow and go, which gives you the full floor later. But it's not as good as that, but it's a pretty nice design feature back there over the prior generations of Odyssey and other vans. Now, while we're not carving up any corners or anything like that, I do think the steering and everything like that feels pretty good for a van this old, this many miles. One thing that is weird to me is it is an oddly thin steering wheel. That's a stupid thing to talk about on a car that we're just talking about common problems, but it kind of drives me nuts. It feels like they should have made it, I don't know, it feels weird. It feels like you're driving like a 1929 Model T with the thin little wooden steering wheel or something, but yeah, it's kind of odd. We're gonna wrap up this road test, and it's time for the rubber to meet the road, and we're gonna decide if this is a buy or a bust. Like I said, now it's time to decide if this is a buy or if it's a bust. Road test went well. These cars run somewhere between $3,500 to $6,000 or $7,000 if you found a lower miles clean one. Now, this is not a comparison video to a Toyota Sienna, but Siennas are almost double the cost of one of these. And the reason is because they're a better vehicle. The Sienna is a much, much better minivan in my mind than the Honda Odyssey, but that's not to say the Honda Odyssey is bad. It just has more problems and doesn't drive as well. So I guess that might be kind of big. That being said, if you actually have some maintenance records when you're looking at a used one of these, and you can see that the timing belt has been done and that the transmission has been kept up with, I think it's absolutely a buy. I got no problem with it. One of the problems is most people don't keep great records, and a lot of these were kind of beat. They were just used as a minivan, and they are rough around the edges. But overall, I'm going to say that the Honda Odyssey is a buy. I don't like it as much as the Sienna, but for half the price almost, it's a pretty intriguing vehicle and one you can still get a lot of use out of for just not a lot of money. Let me know your thoughts if you own one of these, the problems you've had. I want to hear about all of that so people can make an informed decision. Put that down in the comments below. I'll read them all. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day.